I'm John from Ski Secret Japan, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Kawaba Ski Resort, which is a favourite for day trippers from Tokyo. And if you find the video informative, then please don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks and enjoy the video. Kawaba is a snow resort in the northern part of the prefecture of Gunma, close to the town of Numata. For a general overview of skiing or snowboarding in Gunma, please check out an introduction video in the Ski Secret Japan series. But back to Kawaba itself. The easiest way to get there from Tokyo is to take a day return coach trip directly to the ski slopes. This departs from Shinjuku. Several coach companies service Kawaba, so a simple Google search will bring these up for online bookings and timetables. From central Tokyo to the slopes is a journey of 2 and a bit hours. Another option would be to hire a car. Now to get there you would drive to the village of Kawaba, from which you can either drive up the mountain to the resort, or to avoid a potentially steep snowy road, you can park in the village of Kawaba and use the frequent free shuttle bus to the slopes. Now let's talk about the resort itself. In Gunma terms, it probably ranks as a mid-size resort, with 5 chairlifts and a moving carpet for the little ones. There is also a kids' play park, making Kawaba a good choice for families with small children. The lifts service 10 pieces in total, of which half are graded intermediate and the remainder equally split between advanced and beginner. The longest continuous run is a lovely 3.3 kilometre run formed from 3 interconnecting runs and is well suited to intermediate skiers. The views from the top of the mountain are spectacular on a clear day, looking toward the iconic volcanic peak of Mount Akagi. For the very advanced, there is some off-piste between the official runs, as well as a steep mogul run, so there is something for everyone at Kawaba. Because of its relatively easy access from Tokyo, Kawaba does get busy at the weekends, and if you are driving, the weekend multi-storage car parking is expensive, so if possible, I recommend going during the working week, when the slopes are never busy and the parking is free. Of course, parking is not an issue if you take the coach service. In comparative terms, skiing anywhere in Gunma is relatively good value, and at Kawaba I recommend pre-booking online. Firstly, the deals are good, and some include a credit voucher for any of the restaurants, and secondly, it avoids the queues for lift tickets, which, if you're going at the weekends, can be bad. Again, queuing is not a problem if you go during the week. There is a ski and snowboard rental facility, and the school provides English-speaking instruction. But I would certainly advise you book this in advance if that's what you want. As for eating, the large main building houses half a dozen restaurants, a large main dining hall serving the usual range of Japanese ski meals, as well as smaller establishments selling anything from burgers to Indian curry. There's also a mid-mountain restaurant, so eating-wise, there is plenty to choose from at Kawaba. For those thinking about staying overnight near the ski fields, you will need to consider the pretty village of Kawaba, some 10 kilometers away at the base of the mountain road. Here you will find several options with their own hot spring baths. And if you have time, don't forget to drop by one of the 2 historic sake breweries for a tasting. Okay, that's enough of the facts. Now let's get onto the slopes and go skiing.